Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of Harmonia plugin tutorials. In this episode, we'll go over the sun-sky system that the lighting plugin provides, take a look at all the different settings available there, and cover what each one of them does. This system, unlike the HDRI system, is much less custom. The reason we included it was to give you diversity. Depending on the situation, you might need to use a sun-sky setup rather than the HDRI one, and it was more convenient to have the whole sun-sky system bundled inside the plugin as well. That means most of the settings you see here, for the sky atmosphere, the directional light, and the volumetric cloud, are exactly the ones you'll find on the native actors that Unreal provides. We've also made sure to use the same names Unreal uses for most of them. The Rayleigh Scattering Scale, for example, is exactly the same parameter you have on the sky atmosphere settings, and the values work exactly the same way. So there isn't much point in going over what each one of these values does, as I'm sure most of you already know them. But in case you need more explanation, we have a manual bundled with this plugin that you can refer to. And like every other value in here, if you hover over them, you'll see a short explanation of what the value does, along with some example numbers for how to use it in different scenarios. As for the directional light, these are exactly the same settings that we have on the HDRI side. The only difference is how the pitch and yaw work compared to Unreal's default 3-axis system. Here, just like in the other system, the y-axis controls the vertical position of the sun in your scene, and the z-axis rotates the sun around its vertical axis. The rest of the values are as they are shown. The same goes for the volumetric cloud settings. To get your clouds to show up, you first need to bring the cloud coverage up. Something like -0.5 or -0.25 will do it. From there, you can control the various settings, the layer bottom altitude, the layer height, the cloud density, and so on and so forth. It all happens in real time, so you can see exactly what each item is doing as you change it. The one thing that's worth explaining here is that, as you might notice, we don't have the exponential height fog in this system. That's because the fog is shared with the HDRI system. So if you enable it over there, and then switch back to this one, you'll notice that you still have your fog on this system as well. This is to keep the system less complicated, and if we see demand to add it on this side too, we'll bring the height fog into the sun-sky system in a future update. With that, we conclude the sun-sky system, but not this episode. From here, we move on to a short explanation of how the keyframing system inside the plugin works. As you might have noticed up to this point, we have these buttons beside every single variable inside the widget. These are there to add a key for the value they sit next to, but you don't necessarily need to press them in order to get a track. Simply dragging a slider or entering a new value, as you can see, adds the track for the respective value that you just changed. This is for the convenience that if you are inside a sequencer and you start editing the lighting for that specific sequence, you do not alter the values in the editor. The values in the editor are exactly the same as they were before I entered the sequencer. But as soon as I start changing the values, it automatically adds the tracks for the lighting. You might notice that the diamond inside the track is currently white. White means the track has already been added, either by you or automatically when you change the value. Now, if I press this button, it keys the value, and by doing so, you'll notice that the diamond turns orange. That means that if you open the blueprint actor inside the sequencer, you will see the key has been added for the value that you just keyed. The key is added wherever the playhead is. So if I move the playhead away, you'll notice the diamond becomes white again, meaning that at this specific position, we don't have a key. If I press it again, I add another key at this location. And if I sit on a key and then change the value, the diamond becomes red, meaning that you have changed the value, but you haven't keyed it yet. The track has been dirtied, but nothing is saved, because if you don't key it and you exit the sequencer, it will fall back to the value that you keyed inside the track. So this way, we have 4 states for the diamond. An empty diamond means we don't have a track for that value inside the sequence. White means the track exists. Orange means the value is keyed at the playhead. and red means the value is keyed, but you have changed it since, and you still haven't added the new key. There's one more thing here that's worth knowing, and it's a useful one. Each lighting system keys separately. The HDRI system and the sun sky system hold their own values inside the sequencer, so you can key one set of values for the HDRI system and a completely different set for the sun sky system, and switch between the two freely. You can even key which system is in use, which means your sequence can be running the sun sky system while your editor stays on the HDRI system. And one last convenience. If I close the sequencer, all of the key buttons are automatically disabled, so I can no longer press them. That way, you always know whether you are inside the sequencer or outside of it, and you don't accidentally key a value when you're outside. And with that, we come to the conclusion of this episode of Harmonia Tutorials. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you in the next episode, where we'll go over the compass tool and all the other features that the plugin provides. Thank you for watching.